let's look at the intro, right? There's no better place to start than with the intro. Three parts: the hook, the stance, and optionally the 3 points. And Slim, if you're still here, good. How do you usually, how would you define a hook? And what kind of hooks do you like to use in your essays? Because you've written some pretty good essays that I've seen.
The hook is to catch the person's attention, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to use, sometimes I use two types. So there are three types, I think. There's a profound statement, rhetorical question, and I believe there is a quote from someone like a famous person or from a book or so on. It doesn't have to be real, but
Mm-hmm.
something to captivate the person that is reading. When writing this hook, I tend to make it about the subject or the
Mm-hmm.
statement. If we're talking about driving, try and make the hook something close to driving or driving related terms. If it's about school, try and make it about school. Just try and make it directly related to the topic, and it's easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, that's a must. It would be crazy if you just wrote a random hook that has nothing to do with the topic at hand, right? So we have to. So you mentioned two things. One, make sure your hook is powerful enough to spark interest in the reader. Grab their attention. And two, while you're grabbing their attention, make sure you're grabbing their attention to the right thing. You're not just writing a random hook. So you can't go into the exam and say, okay, this quote is gonna be my hook for section D. I have my hook ready. No. It has to be based on the question, right? So you can have a type of hook that you prefer to use. For example, some persons like to use a rhetorical question. Some persons like to use a quotation. So you can say, okay, I want to use this type of hook. That's fine. But you can't prepare the hook in your mind because you don't know what the question is going to be. All right, cool. So let's look at the hook, which is the first part of your essay. The hook is your opening sentence or sentences for those who like a slightly longer hook. Its purpose is to spark interest in the topic. It must be interesting enough to make someone pay attention. Of course, your marker must pay attention and read the essay. They have to mark your essay. They don't get to just this is boring, I'll skip it. But pretend as if your marker doesn't have to read your essay and you're trying to get someone interested, excited about the topic. You need to make you need to create a good hook. Now, here are some examples of types of hooks, and Slim actually mentioned all three of these. And these aren't all the kinds of hooks, they're just three really good examples to keep in mind. A relevant quotation, quote something that somebody said. Of course, it's not really a real quote most times. We make up a name, make up a quote. Or if you can find a real life quote that fits, ooh, all the better, right? You could use a rhetorical question. This seems to be the most common type of hook based on the many student essays I've read. Profound statement. You just make a statement that is very impactful that relates to the topic at hand. Now we'll look at some examples. So looking at this past paper question, which I actually wrote an essay on this on stream, so you can check that out afterwards to see that full process. Some of you might have seen that already. Those who are regulars on the channel. Every secondary school student should be required to do community service as a condition for graduation. Write an essay giving your views on this statement. So here are three relevant quotations that could connect to this question, right? So every secondary school student, every high school student should be forced to do community service if they want to graduate. Here are some relevant hooks. And these hooks would be in support of the statement. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. These are the words of the renowned revolutionary Mahatma Gandhi. Wow, look at that hook. And it doesn't have the word community service in it, the phrase, but it's definitely hinting at, serving others is a good thing. It's a quote that has that idea built into it. Here's another one. Serving one's community is the ultimate purpose of education, posits Brian Smith, a preeminent educator and academic writer. This guy does not exist. This quote is not real. But in the exam, you'll be able to make up things. Just make sure they sound good. Okay? Muhammad Ali once said, serving others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. That's a real quote. So these are some quotes that could be used to really spark interest in this essay. Yeah. Oh, Anslim, this is your hook here?
Yes, sir. That is one from, that I did when we had this little session. Remember?
Yeah.
This was a simple one. Yeah.
Yeah. Read it for us now.
Service to one's community is a noble act that can be of significant impact to them, along with their community. For this reason, I am in full support for all secondary school students to be involved in community service as an obligation for graduation. Making the most of community service would bring forth benefits to the community, help students to make new and stronger connections, and they would also gain skills. This was a very simple one. I didn't go too
simple but effective. Yeah. So you have the hook, and you actually have you have the whole. That's like the whole intro, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole intro right there with all of the parts. Yeah. So the hook doesn't. It can be simple but effective. It just needed to be a strong way to start your essay. Right. Here are some rhetorical questions that could work. What is the point of education? Is it just about passing a test, or is it more so about making a positive impact on the world? Right? You ask a question that kind of has an obvious answer that your reader can reflect on. Look at this one. Do students who have never served their community in any way really deserve to graduate high school? That's kind of a strong question. And it indicates where I'm going with my essay, right? And look at this. In a recent poll, 85% of education policymakers agreed that community service should be a graduation requirement. Who would disagree with that many experts? So you make them feel kind of stupid to disagree, right? Like, oh, how ridiculous would you be to disagree? So you can use a rhetorical question to start the essay with a bang. You can use a profound statement as well. An education that excludes community service is incomplete. Yeah. School should foster the holistic development of students such that they will be equipped to thrive in and contribute to today's world. Or, in the 21st century classroom, community service should be given as much priority as tests and assignments. So these are 9 examples now of hooks. 10 examples. Anslim gave you his hook as well. Right? So the 3 main types of hooks that I encourage you to keep in mind: a relevant quote, a rhetorical question, a profound statement. Keep those in mind. Nice ways to start your essay. All right, so I chose to work with this particular hook when I wrote this essay. Yeah. So that's it. That's the hook. We've learned what a hook is. It is that statement that is meant to give your essay a strong start and spark interest in what you're talking about. Without a good hook, no one cares about your opinion. Now, what about the stance? Anslim, tell us about the stance in the essay, please.
Yeah, so the stance is thesis stance is you stating which side you're on, whether for, against, agree, disagree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is one thing that you must make clear. You can't just say, well, put your hook and just skip over the stance, or you put something but you're not making yourself clear as to what side you're on. You must make it clear to the reader that, well, yes, I am in support, or no, I disagree. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't leave the reader guessing. Don't let that don't create an essay where after I read the intro, I'm wondering, does he disagree? Does she disagree? No. I should know exactly where you stand. Your thesis is going to be that complete sentence that makes it clear. So after your hook, even if you think your hook makes it obvious, still write your thesis statement. Don't depend on the hook to have the reader assume what you believe. Still make it clear. And they're going to see my thesis statement in a while, or my stance. This is the stance I chose to work with. Therefore, it is only logical to propose that every secondary school student should be required to engage in community service in order to graduate. It's a very clear sentence telling you what I believe and what my essay will go on to support. Everything else that comes after this will support this idea. So the hook bleeds down into the stance, and guess what? You can't just write a hook, full stop, write a stance without any linking. You have to make sure that there's a nice transition between the hook and the stance. So this is my hook from the highlighted part here. Is my hook. But look at how I use this little red highlighted part here to blend the hook with the stance. Let me read it all together. School should foster the holistic development of students such that they will be equipped to thrive in and contribute to today's world. Therefore, it is only logical to propose that blah blah blah. My hook, my stance. So imagine if I just ended here and then I didn't put this nice transition and I just said every secondary school student. The point would be brought across, but it wouldn't be very smooth. Wouldn't be very smooth. Right? So the hook, the stance, which makes it clear what side you're on, what the essay is about. And it's not a must, but you may want to just indicate the 3 points that you will discuss in the body of the essay in your intro. I think if your intro is already too long after the hook and the stance, you can just you can leave that out and then just deal with it in the body. But you can include the 3 points to be discussed in the introduction itself. Right? Of course, do not explain anything. Don't start explaining the points. Just tell us what points you will discuss later on. Right? That's really it. That's really it. So this is what the 3 parts would look like now. I'm going to go from hook to the 3 points. School should foster the holistic development of students. Oh man, I'm tired of reading. And Slim, would you do some reading for me, please? Let's give us hook, stance, and the 3 points.
Yes, sir. School should foster the holistic development of students such that they will be equipped to thrive and contribute to today's world. The stance, therefore, it is only logical to propose that every secondary school student should be required to engage in community service in order to graduate. The 3 points. This would yield a slew of important benefits to the students, 3 of which will be discussed in this essay, namely, the development of various critical skills, opportunities for career and academic prospects, and a means to give back to the community.
Thank you. So we have that should be that. So we have the 3 points after our stance, and our intro is complete. We hook them, tell them what we're talking about, we tell them what to expect in the 3 points. That's your intro. That is how to write an introduction on section D of CSEC English A, paper 2. You write a hook, write a stance. And if you are able to write more words in the intro, depending on how long the intro is so far, you just highlight the 3 points. You're not going to bullet point the 3 points. You're going to smoothly introduce them, like I did. This would yield a slew of important benefits, 3 of which will be discussed in this essay. That's how I introduce the point list. Then I get into the points, right? So that's it. My intro is done. You can pack up and go home. Intro done. But that's just the intro, right? We need to write the entire essay. So let's look at the intro as a whole. This is what it actually looks like on paper. This is what it looked like, when I wrote it on stream. Students should foster the holistic development of students. So this is our hook, right? That's our hook. And then I get into my stance. Therefore, it is only logical to propose that every secondary school student should be required to engage in community service in order to graduate. That's what I believe. That's my stance or thesis statement. Then I list the 3 points. This would yield a slew of important benefits to students, 3 of which will be discussed in this essay, namely the development of various, oh no, that's a pen. The development of various critical skills and opportunities for career and the development of various critical skills, opportunities for career and academic prospects, and the means to give back to the community. So point 1, point 2, point 3. And this part here in the purple is just adding a nice transition. Points. This purple part is just more transition as well. So you can visualize how it looks to have your intro well written. Hook, a nice little transition. Stance, nice transition, 3 points. Background sentence is similar to stance. Yeah, similar. Not the same, but similar. The background sentence gives a bit more context of the essay, while the stance tells you exactly what side you're on. How many words should the intro be? Well, you're writing 300 words roughly. So if you're going to be writing 5 paragraphs, that's what, like 60 words per paragraph? All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of essay intros, and I want you guys to analyze them and try to find each. Oh my gosh. Oh, no. Wait. What did I write here? Pardon me. Identify. Yeah, let's identify each of the elements. So we're going to look for the hook, the stance, and if the 3 points are mentioned, we pick that out as well. This is another essay I did on stream. So let's take a look at it. This is the question. The number of road accidents will decrease if the age for obtaining a driver's license is increased to 20 years. Write an essay giving your views on this statement. Where is the hook? Where is the stance? Where are the 3 points? So this is what I use to get my reader alert, like what is this guy talking about? Gaming. Is this about gaming? But no, it's not about gaming, because he's saying, real life driving is not gaming. So I guess all these kids playing games, they think they can just come on the road and start driving. If they think they're gonna see a game over screen when they crash. That's not how this works. And now I get into my hook. While many concur with the current age for obtaining a driver's license, 18 years, I had to state this because the question didn't state it. So, Science and statistics reveal that increasing this age would result in a decrease in road accidents. So I have a long hook and a thesis. So I didn't bother to add the 3 points because this is long enough for an intro. All right, take a look at this one. This is a student's essay that I also reviewed on stream. The question is, the use of social media is negatively affecting the lives of young people. Write an essay giving your views on this statement. Where do we see hook? Where do we see thesis? And if the 3 points are mentioned, where do we see them? Who doesn't use social media these days? Nice rhetorical question, getting us to, reflect on the issue. Social media has become the cornerstone of modern communication, especially amongst young people. Given its prevalence, I believe that it is important to ask whether it is at all harmful to our youth. He hasn't stated the stance yet. This student has not yet said, I believe this. I'm on this side. They're just introducing the issue in a very impactful way. And note the hook is kind of long. We have a rhetorical question, and then we have a profound statement. So like a double whammy. And all of this is the hook. We'll go to the thesis. This is where he plainly tells us what he believes. And we have this big hint, right? I firmly believe. That's a giveaway. I firmly believe that social media is negatively impacting the lives of young people. That's what he believes. Now we get into the points. There are many reasons that can be used to support my stance, including but not limited to. So this is like introducing the points. The detrimental effects of social media on the education of young people. That's point 1. The plethora of mental disorders associated with social media use. That's point 2. And the fact that social media exposes young people to unhealthy habits and idealizes them. Yeah, the expression is a little off there, but that's point 3. I will now expand on the aforementioned points. All right. So there's our hook. We have a rhetorical question and a nice statement, gets us involved, gets us interested in what's going to be discussed. Then we have the actual, I believe that ABC. This is what I think. That has to be clear. I can't skip that step. Then the student chose to outline the 3 points that will be discussed in the essay. Right? So that's the intro. Done. Hook, stance, and optionally 3 points. Right? Hook, stance, 3 points.